up, guys? Back in the garage again, working on the truck, getting into the manual brake conversion. So if you see here, I actually already pulled the Hydro Boost system, all of the lines. They're in the garbage can currently because they're in a leak everywhere. I have the master cylinder just mocked up in there on the adapter plate, and I just discovered I'm going to have to pull the entire dashboard out of the S10, which I am not super excited about. And the reason I'm going to have to pull the entire dash, I need to pull this brake pedal because I need to relocate that boss right there higher to allow more mechanical advantage. And to get that bolt out, I'm pretty sure I have to pull the entire dash. Let's start pulling the dashboard. I still don't have great access to that bolt. So yeah, not sure what else I have to take out, but now I just have to dig in further. Okay, so I was able to get to the bolt. I basically had to take out all of the fasteners holding this aluminum bracket, and now I'm taking the bolt out. I can show you right there. I'm able to get it out. So we'll get this guy out and then have the pedal out. There's the pedal out. That's the pin that I need to relocate higher for the manual brake conversion. And there's the big bolt that was hiding. I got the new location marked out. I have to center punch that guy. But I also have to grind this guy off and then wind up punching it out. Hopefully it's not too press fit in there to punch it out. I got the pin out of there. That was not easy. Took me quite a while. Got it cleaned up, and I also drilled the new hole. Comes out to somewhere between a 6 and a like 1/8 to 1 to like 6 1/4 to 1 pedal ratio, which is the distance from here to here, which is 14 inches, divided by this distance right here, which I think was like 2 1/4 or something like that. So 14 divided by 2 1/4 is 6 and a little bit ratio, which is supposed to be between 6 and 7 based on Motion Raceworks. If I get this guy to fit in there, then we'll be able to weld it. And then I also need to cut a plug. We're getting there. Just got to get it welded and then shove it back in there, and then I'm pretty sure I can put the dash back together, which would be a huge accomplishment. Well, I got the pedal all welded up, got the old hole plugged up, cut a piece of 1/4 inch steel, plug welded it in there, and then welded the old pin on both sides. It seems overkill to have this large a piece of steel for the brake pedal, but you know, whenever I stand on the brakes, it'll make me feel all happy that it's a solid chunk of steel. I have the dash back in. Yeah, that was probably the hardest part I was worried about, but it wasn't too bad. I actually dropped these 2 bolts on the column and dropped the column down just a couple inches to lay it rest on the seat, and that was way more clearance to be able to get the dash up and over the steering wheel. Well, I went to the junkyard on my way home from work, got the little piece of a brake booster, just sawzawed it off. Got a new ashtray, what else? That's pretty much it. Some screws just in case I lost any, ripping the dash out and putting it back in. Now we're going to boot up the CNC. There we go. Got my nice Windows 98 PC. My wireless keyboard. So we'll come over here, get the Mach 3 mill going, and see if we can get this little CNC going to cut a precise slot in this Heim joint. All right, well, I got it nicely machined, slot in there. So now this guy fit nice and tightly in there, and I should be able to get a pretty good weld all the way around there. You know, zinc plating system set up again. Same thing I did for whenever I made the 24X trigger for the truck and the Firebird. So this 24X trigger right there, I did electroplate previously. So now I have basically the same setup I actually kept the solution and it looks like it's working great. It only took me about like 5 minutes to set up again. If I pull it out, you can see the wire, is already changing color, and there's some sections that are getting good coating. There you go. Now you can really see it. So yeah, working good. Just finished up plating my part. Turned out pretty much perfect. Yeah, cleaned it up with a brush and got it all nice and shiny. I threaded on the rod. It comes with the kit for the TBM manual brake kit, and this should be pretty much the right length. And I have some adjustment if I need to move the pedal. Got the hole drilled in the firewall. I made a neoprene gasket to go between the firewall and the adapter from TBM Motion Raceworks. And yeah, it looks like it's fitting pretty good. Had to redo a wire for a ground to make sure the wire harness would fit. Rerouted that underneath. So yeah, it's going good. Getting closer. I have to order, like I said, a couple more pieces to get these brakes plumbed. And then yeah, we'll be ready to drive it again, I guess. I got the master in there plumbed. Got my new brake lines made. I have these soft lines mounted under here. So those are mounted, connected to the calipers. So now I just need to bleed the rest of the system. I already did a bench bleed on there. I have this guy bolted in there. I need to get the rod hooked up to the pedal and start bleeding. And yeah, just see what kind of pedal feel I have. So I had to redo a couple power steering lines. Still have the cooler, maybe overkill, but trying to make this system as reliable as possible. Got the front and rear bled. Just need to throw the intercooler back on, and it should be good to take for a test drive. I definitely need an alignment. I actually might try and do a rough string alignment because it's pretty towed in on this side, pretty towed in as well. So also adjusted the ride height. It's crazy how these control arms drop the whole front end with a stock spindle super low. Like you could have this thing slammed. I moved the coilover adjustment nuts up like over an inch to get the ride height back to roughly where I had it before. So yeah, once we're ready to take it for a spin, come back and yeah, just see how we like the manual brake conversion. Well, it may be dusty and dirty and grimy for sitting for probably a year, but it's ready. I've already started it. I put new plugs, cleaning injectors, all that. It fired up before, but we'll fire it up, put some temperature in it. First test drive with the new brakes. TBM, 2 piston calipers, manual brake conversion. Got rid of the Hydro Boost, so we're gonna see how it drives on the street. Weird. Why aren't the gauges reading? At least the RPM is not reading. Weird. Definitely got some pull in gear. That was unexpected. Brakes definitely work, but definitely require more force. The high idle. I don't even know what the high idle is, but I can tell that it's higher. That's not up to temp yet. I must have forgot to plug something in. Sounds good. chirping. Don't know what that is. Well, I believe I found the culprit. That guy right there needs to plug in with that guy right there. And in this tiny hole that I can barely fit my hand in. So that's gonna be fun. Okay, I'm pretty sure that had to be it. But let's do another test and find out. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. Just back to good. Alrighty, throw the hood down and pull this thing out. Oh wow, power steering is amazing. Not making any noise. Brakes are definitely hard. But they are brand new as well. They definitely require more force. They are cold as well. Sounds good. Whew, it's been so long since I've driven this thing. Those brakes look good. I think I'll top off the power steering fluid. It's not low, but I can see the return. So put a little fluid in there. All right, she's warmed up a little bit. Wow, these brakes are rough. I need to drop the idle air down. Wow. Sure hope these brakes get better. Whew, not so sure this brake idea was a good idea. Definitely need to upgrade the drums in the rear, because they're not doing like anything. Wowza. I can smell them too. They are working. Truck sounds like it's running pretty good though. Oh, it just smokes right through the brakes. Yeah. Wow, the brakes are like, that's two-footed. Like, pump them a couple times. Try and launch it. Oh, it just pushes right through. Right through. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Wow. Definitely think I need to upgrade to rear discs, and hopefully that will help significantly. Hard to say. And I'm sure that, you know, my proportioning valve, I have it wide open, so trying to put equal pressure to the front and back. So, but yeah, these front brakes are definitely, you know, smaller, but not smaller than the stock S10 calipers. So I think the Hydro Boost really was probably working those front brakes pretty hard too. Yeah, I mean, the front brakes, I can hear them. They're holding on for dear life. I bet you the backs aren't doing anything. But the truck is back and running. Sadly, I'm definitely not going to go to the track with it like this. Power steering is great. That's amazing. There's no whine. So that was an improvement. But yeah, I'm not sure if I'm going to be keeping the manual brakes. We'll see. Those discs already have some heat into them. Just from going around the block once, so I was putting some oomph into them. Like I said, the drums are they're not very good, so I think I kind of already planned on upgrading to the 4-piston TBMs in the rear. So yeah, we'll probably have to do that this winter. So yeah, I think sadly I might have to jump back into the Firebird after that whole deal. I do have the upgraded 8.8 Ford rear axle, and yeah, I might have to upgrade to the discs I was going to use. I had the old 8.8 stock calipers there, but I think I might have to upgrade this directly to 4-piston TBMs and get some more braking capacity. Hopefully they'll be able to hold this thing back, unlike the rear drums, like I said, that are probably pretty worn out. So yeah, but it's running good. Seems to be running good. I got to figure out why the wideband's not kicking on. Didn't go exactly as I was hoping, but it kind of went like I thought it might. Worst case, I'm thinking I'll have to swap back to either the Hydro Boost or go with a vacuum system and then come up with a vacuum pump to not go off of the manifold vacuum, because obviously when you're trying to build boost and launch, it doesn't really wind up working when you don't have vacuum. I discovered last night that I had my proportioning valve for the rear brakes adjusted to reduce pressure to the rear drums. So I just wound that all the way in, so it should be getting the exact same pressure on the rear as the front. So hopefully that will increase the overall braking performance. Not really sure. So I'm gonna start it up and take it for another spin, see how it does, see if it's any different. Well, that definitely seemed to help. I can't believe I didn't notice that a long time ago. Honestly, I think I've been having the problem where it was pushing through the brakes like way back when I was going to the track like over a year ago. So yeah, I think I actually never made a video of that trip because I was so disappointed in that outing that it was pushing through the brakes basically every single launch. And I'm pretty sure I've had that adjusted to that, you know, like for years. I think I did it on like a drag and drive, like one of like drag week 2021 or even drag week 2019. Probably drag week 2019. I adjusted that proportioning valve. I thought I was putting more brake pressure to the rear when in reality I reduced it. I don't know, just a silly mistake on my part and not realizing it, but it definitely helped. I was able to get just barely up on the two-step. I don't really remember what I have set up in the tune for the two-step, but I have it pretty low because this torque converter is pretty tight. Just gonna have to bite the bullet, upgrade the rear axle. I'm gonna buy some 4-piston rear TBM calipers set up for the rear. I've really always wanted to do disc conversion in the rear. You know, I'm surprised this thing ever was able to do anything that it did with drum brakes in the rear. But now that I realized I had the brake bias, like totally biased to the front, you know, I was probably killing the front brakes for years when I was on the stock brakes. So it definitely helps. The pedal effort's still pretty high, which I'm not too concerned about. If I get more braking on the rear, then it will hopefully help a little bit with the pedal effort, because I'll just have more braking force in the rear, which is kind of where I need it, especially for launching at the drag strip. So just going to get, you know, those ordered. I think I found a deal on Facebook Marketplace for some brand new ones, a little bit cheaper than from TBM. So I'm gonna get those ordered, and I'm gonna have to pull this axle out from, you know, the abyss that it's been sitting in for who knows how long, probably like over 2 or 3 years. So that's probably what I'm going to start in the next episode. The Eaton True Track that's just been literally sitting down in there. I got the Mosier axles, and then I'll have the TBM rear brake setup. Oh, and other thing, I have the TRC anti-roll bar or sway bar to put in under that thing. Stuff I bought so long ago that I just haven't done. We'll get into that next. Maybe flip the truck around and start working on the back end of it. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.